Hey everyone, Ryan here, and in this video I'm going to be telling you about every LEGO Star Wars set that is supposed to retire by the end of 2025, so you can find out which sets you need to buy soon and which sets you can wait until 2026 and potentially beyond to purchase. Now this video is sponsored by Rakuten, so I'll tell you more about them and how they can help save you money on these retiring LEGO Star Wars sets later in the video. And I want to start this one out with a bit of a disclaimer that this list is of course subject to change. Last year we actually had quite a few sets see their retirement date extended, but I will say I feel like that is an exception to the rule. I don't expect that to happen again this year where a bunch of sets get their retirement dates extended, but if there are, I will make an update video to this later in the year like I did in 2024. I think the more important disclaimer here though, and the piece of advice that you really should listen to if you want any of these retiring sets in 2025, is that just because a set retires on December 31st at midnight of 2025 doesn't mean the last time you'll be able to buy it is that time. It very likely will sell out well before this, and the best examples from last year are the Mos Eisley Cantina and the UCS AT-AT. Two just absolutely goated LEGO Star Wars sets that sold out well before Christmas, and people emailed and messaged me and said they should have listened to me. You should have listened to me, all right? Just this time, make sure you buy your things before about Halloween so you're not messing with the holiday shopping season. I know a lot of people want to try to wait for Black Friday deals on retiring sets, and that can work out in your favor, but obviously it can also backfire. So you gotta weigh the pros and cons there. Now let's get into our four categories, starting with the sets that I think are overdue to retire for LEGO Star Wars. And the first of those is the UCS Razor Crest, a set that I thought should have retired at the end of 2024, mostly because they blew it up in The Mandalorian, but at the same time, it's also a phenomenal set, and I'm glad people have had a little bit more time to save up and buy that one if they wanted it. Now, it is a set that has had some deep discounts in the past, so it's one of those that you might really want to try and wait for Black Friday to see if LEGO does another Black Friday deal on it. I believe they did a Black Friday deal on it a couple years ago, had it down to about $420. It is very abnormal for LEGO.com to have a LEGO Star Wars UCS set for 30% off these days, and so just having seen it already hit that price, you kind of gotta hope that LEGO or maybe Amazon will go there again, and we'll have to wait and see. It's one that I would maybe play the game with of waiting later into the year just because of how deep of a discount it has already had. But at the same time, it could just sell out very fast come the end of the year. But still a phenomenal set, one that I totally recommend. I also think the Darth Vader helmet is overdue to retire. This is one that came out in 2021. I mostly think it's overdue because I think it is bad, not because people shouldn't be able to buy a Darth Vader helmet all the time, because that makes a ton of sense if you look at it through that lens, because Darth Vader is like one of the most, if not the most popular character in the history of Star Wars. So like, why would you not sell his helmet forever? But at the same time, the chipmunk teeth of a sticker design that they have on the front of him is inexcusable. And so I just always thought the set should be retired like that because of how bad it is. But it was extended from its retirement last year anyway, so that's another reason I would say it's overdue. So yeah, it should be retiring at the end of 2025 unless it sees another extension. Next, we have the Coruscant Guard gunship, and by the time it retires at the end of 2025, it will have been out for 2.5 years, which I feel like is a year too long. I feel like that should be a 1.5 year set, and historically for LEGO Star Wars, that would be the case, but we're kind of in a different era now, so things are a bit different compared to what I'm very used to. Now, this set I think should have retired sooner for a couple of very good reasons. One, the Commander Fox figure sucks, and that's the least of the good reasons. Two, they should have replaced it with another different style of gunship. It's such a niche gunship. Why does it need to be out for 2.5 years? It's not like there's a huge demand for that specific gunship. You could just keep making, Munilus 10, Wolfpack, regular gunship. You could literally expand on this idea and do a ton of different gunships back to back to back to back and make a ton of money instead of selling the same one on a 20% discount for 3 years. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then the final overdue to retire is the 75384 Crimson Firehawk. This is a set that came out at the beginning of 2024, mind you. So I'm talking about a set that I think should have lasted a year on shelves, and that's no record for shorter shelf life either. There have been shorter shelf life LEGO Star Wars sets, and I think I'm very validated in my thinking that this set is overdue to retire because recently Walmart has had this set on clearance for as cheap as $13, and there are like dozens of them on the shelves at a time. They are not hard to find for $13. This is a $50 set. Nobody wants it. Therefore, it's overdue to retire. It should have retired the day it came out. And I would tell you to wait for clearance, but the clearance has already happened. Next, I've only got a couple of sets that fit in the gone too soon category for me, probably the least I've ever put there, but starting out with the Desert Skiff and Sarlacc Pit. And the reason I think this one has gone too soon is because the Jabba sail barge is not retiring at the end of 2025. And this set was clearly made to pair one-to-one with that Jabba sail barge. It includes a lot of the characters that are missing from the Jabba sail barge that should have been included in the Jabba sail barge. You know, like, it's actually insane that they're going to retire this set seemingly so early. The shelf life is not abnormal at about a year and a half. It's absolutely not abnormal throughout the history of LEGO Star Wars. Just when you create something very specifically to pair with a larger set, basically as DLC for it, and then retire one earlier than the other, it just, I don't know, it's weird to me. I don't like it, even though I don't love the Desert Skiff and Sarlacc pit at its $80 price tag, and I think the fact that the Boba Fett is the wrong movie version of Boba Fett is actually insane. Still wrong to me to retire this set so much earlier than the sail barge, because you're gonna have people that buy the sail barge in 2026 and then want that Desert Skiff and Sarlacc pit to combo with it. Maybe it's a great investment set. Maybe I'll go out and buy 100 of them whenever they go on clearance, because this is certainly going to be a clearance buy with the $80 price point that everyone and their mother has complained about. Anyway, I'll leave that one there, and my other Gone Too Soon set is going to be the buildable Droideka. It's a set that will live a normal LEGO Star Wars lifespan. However, the reason I think it's gone too soon is because in the summer of 2025, we're rumored to be getting a buildable B1 battle droid, and so I feel like having those overlap a little more on shelves would be nice. I also think that it kind of points towards a B2 super battle droid coming in 2026 if you get a 3-year trend out of it, and so if that ended up being the case, I think having that Droideka out when the B2 and the B1 are out and people want to have that full collection would be very good for LEGO, but obviously, at least as of now, it's supposed to retire, and that won't be the case. Now, before we talk about a ton of sets that I think the time is right for their retirement, we have to talk about today's sponsor, Rakuten, and now they can help save you money on these retiring LEGO Star Wars sets. If you plan on buying any LEGO this year, you need Rakuten. Rakuten is the largest cashback site, partnering with over 3,500 of the biggest name brands. That includes some places that sell LEGO, like Walmart, Target, Kohl's, and of course, Lego.com. I use it every time I make a Lego.com order, and it's great to see that cash back add up. All you have to do is click through to Lego or your retailer of choice from Rakuten's site, and it automatically redirects and activates your cash back. I do recommend downloading the browser extension though, so you don't miss out on any cash back. When you sign up for Rakuten now with my link in the description, you'll get a $30 cash back bonus when you spend $30. It's like getting the retiring Bark Speeder Escape set for free. Again, link in the description. Using Rakuten to get cash back is an absolute no-brainer, especially when buying LEGO. It's expensive anyway. Why not let Rakuten make it a little less painful for your wallet? The time is right for the retirement of the Imperial Dropship versus Rebel Scout Speeder Battle Pack. This is the $40 LEGO Store exclusive battle pack, and by the time it retires at the end of the year, will have been out for about a year and 3 months, which is relatively short for a LEGO Star Wars set, but I would not say too short, and also I don't think it needs to be out for 2.5 years, so I feel like retiring it at the end of 2025 just makes sense to me. We've also seen much shorter runs out of some of these LEGO Store exclusive sets, so I feel like a year plus is pretty solid. The UCS X-Wing is another one we'll be saying goodbye to, and it's one that I feel like we're kind of unlikely to see go on sale or clearance anywhere, much like the battle pack that we just talked about, since it's a LEGO Store exclusive. You might see some type of deal on May 4th, or just want to take advantage of those double VIP points and promo if you wanted this one or the battle pack, and that might just be the best deal you can get out there. So just a warning on that, because some of these LEGO Store / D2C type of sets don't go on sale as often. Next, we have the Ghost and Phantom 2. This time definitely feels right for that set at about 2.5 years in my opinion, and it's a set that you can also, it's an Amazon and LEGO exclusive set, you know, so you're not going to find it in your Walmart, your Targets, your other stores, but it's a set that you can find on sale between those two retailers, especially during maybe May the 4th or an Amazon Prime Day or something like that. So just keep your eyes on those websites around those days, and you're going to have your best luck on that particular set. The other Ahsoka set that's retiring at the end of the year is her T6 shuttle, and frankly, it's a set that probably belongs in the overdue category, because this past holiday season, it had some very deep discounts. It was very cheap, and so if a set's selling that cheap, it's probably not selling very well. But regardless, it's still going to be available through the end of 2025. It's another one that I would look to wait until there are some deeper discounts on again. I can't remember exactly, but I want to say it got fairly close to half off. Maybe it was like 40%. But either way, a very good discount on that set is something that you should expect, and do not pay full price for that one. We got a couple back-to-back here from The Mandalorian with set 75373 and 75386. This is a battle pack and larger set combo. They literally go together, so them retiring at the same time is very very good. See how that's done compared to what the Sail Barge and Desert Skiff sets are doing. But anyway, yeah, these sets retiring at the same time makes a ton of sense, and they're the type of sets that you can probably reasonably expect 20% off, and probably not a ton more unless you're going to play the dangerous Walmart clearance game. The Onyx Cinder is also one that's said to retire at the end of 2025, and I cannot recommend that set enough. I think that if you haven't watched Skeleton Crew, you should watch it, and once you watch it, you're going to want this Onyx Cinder. But also, given what happened to the Onyx Cinder in the Skeleton Crew, the time is definitely right for this set to retire at the end of 2025, and hopefully we get more Skeleton Crew sets, especially with an SM33 figure in the future. But yeah, as of now, this is the one and only, and it's still phenomenal. You should absolutely be buying this set if you liked the Skeleton Crew, or if you think you're going to watch it in the future, because if you don't buy this set, I think you will deeply, deeply regret it when you get around to watching the show. Next, we've got a couple of MIDI scale sets retiring by the end of the year with the Tantive 4 and the Invisible Hand, and the Invisible Hand is one that has specifically already seen a very deep discount going from $50 to $30, so 40% off at Target on Black Friday. The Tantive has not seen that same treatment, and so I don't think I expect the Tantive to see as deep of discounts as we saw with the Invisible Hand. And it's also worth saying that because Target already did their big Black Friday sale with the Invisible Hand last year, I kind of don't think the same thing is going to happen. So if you see it for $40, I think that's a fairly nice price, and you should probably pick it up for that. It's also one that, you know, why would you not buy the Invisible Hand if you like Revenge of the Sith? What are you waiting for? I think it's a really great set. The Tantive, on the other hand, may be more questionable. Like, some people love it, some people don't. But if you have some of the other original trilogy ones, it looks nice next to them, so maybe it's worth buying for that. The Bark Speeder and Lamppost Order 66 set is retiring, and yeah, the time is definitely right for this one. It's a phenomenal set outside of the helmets on the 501st Troopers just being bad, but yeah, otherwise quite nice, and definitely one worth picking up if you can get it for maybe somewhere closer to 20 instead of 30, because 30 is insane. Now, it doesn't appear there are going to be any new LEGO Star Wars diorama sets for 2025. That doesn't mean they can't maybe come back in 2026 or beyond, but if you look to one set that might have really killed the dream, the Mos Espa Pod Race, you know, is definitely in the talks here. It's one that's going to be retiring, and $80 is just absurd for what you're getting here. Not even a minifig in sight for $80 is just crazy to me. So one that you'll definitely be able to find on sale. Obviously, they're already probably 20% off, but I think this one will go even cheaper, and especially if you're lucky enough to find it on in-store clearance. It was one of the sets that was basically on every shelf after Christmas of 2024, and so yeah, it was not selling at all. So I don't expect it to be very expensive if you want to get it near the end of 2025. Another Phantom Menace, the time is right retirement, goes to the Sith Infiltrator. It's a Walmart exclusive set at $70, and I feel like Walmart's exclusive sets don't see the same discounts that Target's exclusive sets do sometimes, so it's kind of 50-50 to me whether or not we'll see this one get under the typical 20% sale from Walmart, but it's still one that if you've been waiting for a Sith Infiltrator, the build is fairly nice. It's just that Darth Maul's eyes are just horrid. Your best potential deal on this set will probably be Walmart clearance after Christmas, if there's any left at the end of 2025, because Walmart clearance can be quite aggressive. You might be able to find this thing for like $35 after Christmas, but that's if it's on the shelf still. The 75385 Julon Peridia is due to retire. Honestly, not a lot to say about this one. If you can find it for its normal 20% off, so $40, I think it's worth the money. It's a very nice, basically glorified minifig pack to a lot of people, although I quite like the build, although there are bad stickers on the build, and if you do want to upgrade those stickers to prints, I actually sell some very nice prints of the stickers on MAndRshop.com. Just the flooring stickers makes the build look a lot better, so if you do end up picking that one up, check out my website, and we've got some prints for it. Anyway, we're due to see the Luke Skywalker pilot X-Wing mech retire at the end of 2025. Honestly, nothing notable about that at all, other than that the other mechs that have retired so far have been fairly easy for me to find on clearance for close to half price, so probably one worth waiting and trying to find on clearance. We'll also be seeing the Target exclusive creative droid builder retire, and this is one that I would probably hold out until Black Friday for. I think Target will have some sort of deal on this set where it's like $60. Right now the retail price is $100. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. You can't pay $100 for this set. Target is almost guaranteed to do some sort of sale or deal on this set where you're going to be able to get it for 60 or 70 bucks instead of 100. I know a lot of people really want it just to have that complete 25th anniversary minifig collection, and it's a very valid reason to go and buy this set, obviously, and that's the reason that they made the set the way they did. But at the same time, it is a set that is unquestionably selling horribly, and you just gotta wait it out. This will be on sale, whether it's from Lego.com or Target.com, and if you do end up getting that Leia 25th anniversary fig to complete your collection, MAndRshop.com also has a dope 25th anniversary minifig case if you're interested in that. Now, the final time is right retirement set for 2025, in my opinion, is the TIE Fighter and X-Wing mashup from Rebuild the Galaxy. It's a cool idea. Just the builds look awful, and I don't really care about the figures. And if I don't like it, then it should retire. That's why. But I do think a year and a half is a good amount of time for that set to have existed, and I can't say I'm sad to see it go, though. Now for our notable survivors, the sets that will not be retiring at the end of 2025, you will not believe the first one. The UCS Millennium Falcon lives on. It was actually supposed to retire at the end of 2025 and had its retirement date extended, I believe, currently until the end of 2026. I want this set to be updated so badly. I talked about this last year. I want new box art and a fresh set of figures. You don't have to change the build. Just give the set a refresh. Make it the iPhone 5S of UCS Millennium Falcons, you know? It could be just that much better. And I'd buy another one, but for some reason, LEGO is just so attached to selling the same exact UCS Millennium Falcon for 10 years. I guess that's just how it's gonna be. Maybe it'd be a bad thing if they did a refresh, though, because they'd probably hike the price up to $900, $950, or $1,000 for a UCS Falcon. Who knows? Another set that I find quite surprising to be leaking into 2026 is the ATTE. I just can't believe they're not retiring at the end of 2025. Now, a set that's not surprising to be surviving is the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter. I do, however, think if they're going to continue selling this set, clearly because of the coming Mandalorian movie, they need to update the Mandalorian helmet in this set. It's still using the old, terrible Mandalorian helmet that they updated at the end of 2022. Now, some of the 25th anniversary sets are retiring at the end of 2025. A couple of them, and it won't be much of a surprise here, in the Tantive 4 hallway and R2-D2, are seeing their shelf lives go into 2026. I also think it's notable that the $30 Clone and Droid Battle Pack and the 501st Specialist Battle Pack are continuing to live on. I think the Clone Troopers in those sets are generally bad, but it's kind of crazy that they're going to be selling these battle packs for like 4 years each. Very abnormal, and in my opinion, unnecessary, but maybe they're just too lazy to go and replace them with a newer, better battle pack. I don't know what the rationale there is. Now, the final notable survivor I have here is one that has had its retirement date pushed back a couple of times now in the 75333 Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. It's kind of crazy that a set that came out in the summer of 2022 with the anniversary of Attack of the Clones, kind of like the one Throw 'em a Bone set, has had such a long shelf life and has continued to get extended because of what's coming with the UCS Jango Fett Slave 1 on May 1st, and now a playset Jango Fett Slave 1 on August 1st. So just pretty crazy to see, kind of, to me, a seemingly nothing normal set in Obi-Wan Starfighter get to live like a 4-year, very abnormal shelf life. You only expect long shelf lives out of like really exceptional sets. So not to say that it's bad for any particular reason, but it's not one that strikes me as something you would see available for 4 years. But it's good that LEGO has the thought now that they shouldn't just retire things after a year and a half if something else is going to become available that should probably be on shelves alongside it. So again, this ties back into why I think the Desert Skiff and Sarlacc Pit is going to be gone too soon, to put a bow on it. So if you didn't hear me say a set is retiring, you know, it should also be a survivor. It just wasn't a notable survivor to me. Usually if a set is not on the retiring list, it won't just get pushed up and magically retire out from under you, so you shouldn't really have to worry about it unless it was on the retiring list. So hopefully you guys take my advice, buy anything that's retiring that you really, really want by the end of October, so you don't have to worry about that Christmas rush. Black Friday would be my absolute last day to be buying and waiting for any type of sale or deal on retiring sets. So that's the best advice I have for you guys. If you did enjoy, hit the like button, and please check out today's sponsor, Rakuten. They will help you save money and get you some cash back when you buy these retiring LEGO Star Wars sets. It's just a no-brainer to use them. Again, link in the description. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again next year when we find out what sets are retiring in 2026.